My hands were shaking as I watched them through the window, laughing and drinking wine on the beach house porch like they owned the place. My mother's voice carried across the evening air, that familiar condescending lilt that had haunted me for 33 years. My sister Layla's high-pitched giggle followed, and then his laugh. Zane's laugh. The sound made my stomach turn. I'm Stella, and this is the story of how I sold my family's vacation home right out from under them. 3 weeks earlier, I sat in my lawyer's office, pen hovering over divorce papers. Are you sure about this? Nicole asked, her eyes concerned. She wasn't just my attorney. She'd been my best friend since college. More sure than I've ever been about anything, I said, signing my name with quick, decisive strokes. Freedom felt like letting go of a breath I'd been holding for 5 years. I thought going home would feel like victory. Instead, I walked into my parents' house to find my mother on a stepladder, hanging a banner that made my blood run cold. Welcome home, Zane. Mom? My voice cracked. What is this? She climbed down, brushing off her hands. Oh, honey, we thought it was time to start healing. Zane called yesterday. He's been doing so much work on himself. Work on himself? I pulled up my sleeve, revealing the fading bruise. You mean like this kind of work? Don't be dramatic, Stella. She rolled her eyes. Couples fight. If you hadn't provoked him. Patricia. My father's sharp voice cut through the room. Not now. But I saw it in his eyes. He believed her. They all did. My perfect, charming ex-husband had them completely fooled, just like he fooled me in the beginning. Layla breezed in, phone in hand. Did Mom tell you? Zane's coming to the beach house this weekend. We're having a little welcome back party. I felt the floor tilt beneath my feet. The beach house? Why not? My mother smiled that razor-sharp smile. It's not like it belongs to you. God knows how you destroy something this valuable, just like you destroyed your marriage. That night I sat on my childhood bed, scrolling through old photos on my phone. There was one from 3 years ago, Zane and me on that same porch, his arm around my shoulders. You couldn't see how tightly he was gripping me, warning me to keep smiling. My phone buzzed. A text from Zane. Can't wait to see you this weekend, sweetheart, just like old times. I blocked his number and called Nicole. They're throwing him a party, I said when she picked up, at Grandpa's beach house. You mean your beach house, Nicole corrected. The one your grandfather left specifically to you? They've conveniently forgotten that part. I walked to my dresser, pulled out the deed I'd kept hidden for years. Grandpa put it in my name for tax purposes, but they all just kept using it, like nothing changed. Because you let them, Nicole said softly. But legally, Stella, you could do whatever you want with that property. I touched the paper, remembering Grandpa's words the day he handed it to me. You're the only one I trust to do right by this place, kid. Nicole? My voice was steady now. I need you to help me make some calls. What are you thinking? I looked at the deed again, then at my reflection in the mirror. The woman staring back wasn't the same one who'd signed those divorce papers this morning. She was someone stronger, someone who had finally had enough. I'm thinking it's time to remind my family exactly who owns that house. I pulled out my laptop. Know any good realtors? Stella. Nicole's voice held a note of warning. Are you sure about this? I opened my email, finding the folder where I'd saved every threatening message from Zane, every photo of every bruise, every recording I'd never shown anyone, evidence I'd collected but been too afraid to use. You know what my mother said when I showed her the bruises? Well, maybe you provoked him. My own sister told me I was being dramatic when I said I was afraid of him. I took a deep breath. They chose him. Over and over, they chose him. Now I'm choosing me. I'll send you some names, Nicole said. Just promise me you know what you're doing. I closed my laptop, picturing their faces when they realized what was coming. Oh, I know exactly what I'm doing, and this time I won't be the one who ends up homeless. My phone buzzed again, a new number, but I knew who it was. Zane never could take no for an answer. See you soon, baby, the text read. We both know you can't stay away. I smiled, thinking of the realtor I was about to call. Watch me, I whispered to the empty room. I remember the day Grandpa gave me the deed like it was yesterday. We sat on that worn leather couch in his study, the smell of pipe tobacco hanging in the air, while everyone else was down at the beach. Come here, kid, he'd said, patting the space next to him. Got something important to discuss? I was 25 then, already dating Zane but not yet married, already used to being the family disappointment, the quiet one who couldn't quite measure up to Layla's sparkle. You know that beach house has been in our family for 40 years, Grandpa said, pulling out a manila envelope. Your grandmother and I raised your father there every summer. I know, I said. Mom says it's worth a fortune now. He snorted. That's exactly why I'm giving it to you. I stared at him. What? Your parents. He shook his head. They'd sell it in a heartbeat if they needed cash. Layla would turn it into some kind of Instagram backdrop. But you? He squeezed my hand. You understand what it means to protect something valuable. The memory faded as Nicole's voice cut through my thoughts. Earth to Stella? We were sitting in her kitchen, the remains of takeout Chinese scattered between us. My phone kept lighting up with texts from my family about the upcoming welcome back party. Sorry, I said, just thinking about Grandpa. He'd be proud of you, you know. Nicole pushed her plate aside. Speaking of which, I found you a realtor, Justin Phillips. He's handled some delicate family situations before. My phone buzzed again, a text from Layla. Mom says you're being difficult about Saturday. Stop making everything about you for once. I showed Nicole the message. They really think I'm going to just show up and play nice? Better than that, Nicole grinned. You're going to show up and play perfect, while Justin works his magic behind the scenes. I met Justin the next morning. He was all business, no drama. Exactly what I needed. The market's hot right now, he said, spreading papers across his desk. Beachfront property like this, we could have multiple offers within days. I need it done quickly, I said, and quietly. He nodded. 2 weeks, maybe 3, but you'll need to provide proof of ownership. I pulled out the deed, perfectly preserved. Justin examined it, then looked up with raised eyebrows. This is ironclad, he said. Your grandfather's lawyer did excellent work. You have full rights to sell without any family consultation. That evening, my mother called. Stella, darling, about Saturday. I'll be there? I cut her off. Silence on the line. Then, really? Oh, wonderful. Zane will be so pleased. He's been asking about you. I bet he has, I thought, remembering the last time he'd asked about me. My ribs had taken weeks to heal. Just one thing, my mother continued. Try to dress appropriately, something flattering. You know how Zane likes you in blue? I ended the call and texted Nicole. It's happening. Call Justin. The next few days passed in a blur of paperwork and preparations. Justin listed the property on Thursday. By Friday morning, we had 3 offers. This one, I said, pointing to the highest bid. They can close in 2 weeks. Cash buyers, Justin confirmed. They're motivated. I signed the acceptance papers, then drove to the beach house. My family was already there, setting up for tomorrow's party. I watched from my car as Zane helped my father carry chairs onto the porch. My phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. Looking good, Stella. Blue really is your color. I looked up. Zane was staring directly at me, that familiar smirk on his face. the same look he'd given me right before he'd thrown me down the stairs. I got out of the car, walked straight past him and into the house. Layla was in the kitchen arranging flowers. "Oh, you actually came," she said. "And, wow, you're wearing blue, trying to get his attention again?" I smiled, thinking of the signed papers in my bag, just giving everyone exactly what they expect. "Well, don't get your hopes up," Layla smirked. "Zane's been seeing someone who knows how to appreciate him." "Good for her," I said, heading upstairs. In my old bedroom, I pulled out my phone and texted Justin, "How soon can the new owners take possession?" His reply came instantly, "As soon as we close. Want me to push it through faster?" I looked out the window. My mother was hugging Zane, laughing at something he'd said. My father was clapping him on the back like a long-lost son. "Yes," I typed back. "Push it through. And Justin, make sure the new owners know they can take immediate possession. No grace period needed." I heard Zane's laugh drift up from below, followed by my mother's voice. "It's so good to have the family back together." I touched the window glass, smiling. "Not for long," I whispered. "Not for long at all." The welcome back party was in full swing, and I watched Zane work the crowd like the professional manipulator he was. He stood at the grill, spatula in one hand, beer in the other, telling some story that had everyone in stitches. "Remember that time Stella tried to cook Thanksgiving dinner?" he called out, catching my eye. "Nearly burned the house down." What they didn't know was that I'd nearly burned the house down because he'd shoved me into the stove and I'd grabbed the curtains to keep from falling. My phone vibrated. "Justin, buyers signed preliminary paperwork. Moving fast." "Having fun, sweetheart?" Zane appeared beside me, his hand settling on my lower back, right where he'd kicked me 6 months ago. I stepped away smoothly. "Always." "You seem different," he said, eyes narrowing, "more confident." "Divorce will do that." His charm slipped for just a second, showing the darkness underneath. "We both know this isn't over." "You're right about that," I murmured, but he was already walking away, rejoining my family on the porch. Layla cornered me in the kitchen as I was getting more ice. "I know what you're doing," she said, words slightly slurred from too many margaritas. "Getting ice, playing hard to get, trying to make him chase you again." She leaned against the counter. "It's pathetic, Stella. He's moved on. You should too." I filled the ice bucket. "Trust me, I have." "Really?" She laughed. "Is that why you're here? Wearing his favorite color? Pretending to be all cool and collected?" She grabbed my arm. "Face it, you're hoping for a reconciliation." My phone buzzed again. "Justin, offer accepted. Buyers want quick close, 2 weeks." I smiled at Layla. "Actually, I'm exactly where I need to be." Later that night, I met Nicole at a coffee shop 2 towns over. The party was still going, but I'd made my strategic appearance and left. "How'd it go?" she asked. I showed her Justin's text. "Perfectly. They don't suspect a thing. Dad's talking about planning more family weekends there, and Mom's already invited Zane to stay whenever he wants." "And the buyers?" "Couple named Haley and Mark. They're paying cash and want immediate possession." I stirred my coffee. "They close in 2 weeks." "Your family's going to lose their minds," Nicole said. "They lost their minds when they chose him over me." I pulled out my phone, showing her a new text from Zane. "Miss you already. The house feels empty without you." "Gross," Nicole muttered. "He's been watching me all day, playing his usual games." I deleted the message. "But this time, I'm playing mine." My phone rang. My mother. I put it on speaker. "Darling, why did you leave so early? Zane was just about to show everyone his vacation photos from Europe. Tired, I said. Long day. Well, we're planning a big beach barbecue next weekend, the whole family. Zane's bringing his new friend Sarah. Lovely girl, very understanding about everything. Maybe you could bring someone too, show everyone you're moving on. Nicole rolled her eyes so hard I thought they might stick. Actually, I said, I might not make it next weekend. Stella, my mother's voice turned sharp. Stop being difficult. This is family time, important family time. And Zane is still family? Is he? I asked quietly. More family than me? Oh, don't start with the dramatics again. Just be here and wear something nice, not that awful black dress you had on last time. After she hung up, Nicole reached across the table and squeezed my hand. 2 weeks, she said. Just 2 more weeks. I should feel guilty, I said. Right? I mean, they're my family. Family doesn't ignore abuse. Family doesn't invite your abuser to barbecues. Family doesn't. My phone buzzed again. Unknown number. You looked beautiful today, but you always did bruise pretty. I showed Nicole the text. Her face hardened. Still feeling guilty? No, I said, blocking the number. Just impatient. When I got home that night, I had an email from Justin with the final contract attached. All I had to do was sign. I thought about Zane at the grill, playing host in a house that wasn't his, about my mother's dismissive waves whenever I tried to tell the truth, about Layla's sneering accusations of attention-seeking. I signed the contract, hit send, and then composed a new email to my family. Subject, just a reminder body. See you at the beach house Saturday. I sent it, then forwarded the same message to Zane's email. Let him think I was wavering. Let them all think I was falling back into line. My phone lit up one last time. Justin, it's done. Congratulations. You just sold your house. I closed my eyes and whispered, No, I just sold their house. They just don't know it yet. The beach house looked different now that I knew it was sold. Every room held memories I needed to face one last time, not out of regret, out of closure. I walked through the front door using my key, knowing it would be the last week I could. The house was empty. My family wouldn't arrive until Friday night for another weekend of pretending we were perfect. In the hallway, I stopped at the spot where Zane had first shown me who he really was. We'd been married 3 months. You embarrassed me in front of everyone, he'd said, his hand connecting with my face so fast I didn't see it coming. I touched my cheek, stunned, and he'd immediately started crying, apologizing, swearing it would never happen again. I told my mother the next day. She'd sighed and said, Well, maybe you shouldn't have corrected his story about the stock market. Men hate that. The kitchen still had the dent in the wall from where he'd thrown a plate at my head. My father had helped patch it, never asking how it happened. My phone buzzed. Nicole. Want company for your final walkthrough? Meet me at Grandpa's grave first, I texted back. An hour later, we stood in front of the simple headstone. I placed fresh flowers beside it. I wish he could see what they've become, I said. What they let Zane do. He knew, Nicole replied. That's why he left the house to you, not them. I found something yesterday. I pulled out an old envelope. Letter from Grandpa's lawyer. There's a second trust. It activates if I ever take legal action to protect myself from family exploitation. His exact words. Nicole whistled. Your grandfather was playing chess while everyone else was playing checkers. He knew them better than I did. I touched the headstone. I'm sorry I have to sell it, Grandpa, but I promise I'm honoring your trust in me by not letting them destroy me. Back at the beach house, Nicole helped me pack the few personal items I had left. In my old bedroom, she found a photo album. Oh my God, look at baby Stella. She flipped through pages. Wait, why are there so few pictures of you compared to Layla? Mom said I was a difficult baby, didn't like having my picture taken. I took the album. Actually, I learned later that I had colic. They just found it easier to not deal with me. Your parents are trash, Nicole declared. No offense. None taken. My phone chimed. A text from Layla. Mom says you're coming Saturday. Better not start any drama. Zane's bringing Sarah. Who's Sarah? Nicole asked, reading over my shoulder. The new girlfriend. Apparently she's very understanding about everything. Understanding about him being an abusive piece of... Another text interrupted her. BTW, did you hear? Mayor's office nominated Zane for community outreach. Don't you feel stupid now? I showed Nicole. Guess my bruises didn't fit his public image. You know what would really not fit his public image? Nicole grinned. Being kicked out of a house by its new owners in front of everyone. I smiled, then froze as I heard the front door open. Hello? Zane's voice. Anyone home? Nicole grabbed her phone, ready to call 911, but I shook my head. Up here, I called back. Just getting some old stuff. He appeared in the doorway, all charm and perfect teeth. Thought I might find you here? Hi, Nicole. Nicole gave him the finger. Still charming as ever, he laughed. Mind giving me and Stella a minute? I mind very much, Nicole said. It's okay, I told her. I've got this. After she left, staying right outside the door, I knew. Zane moved closer. You've changed, he said. I don't like it. That's the point. He reached for my face. I stepped back. Remember our first night here? He asked. How perfect everything was? I remember every night here, I said. Every bruise, every lie. Every time my family chose to believe you instead of their own daughter. His face darkened. You always did have a talent for ruining good memories. No, I smiled, but I'm about to. He grabbed my wrist. What's that supposed to mean? I pulled out my phone, held it up. It means I'm recording. Again, try something, please. He let go like I'd burned him. You think you're so smart now? Smart enough to get away from you, smart enough to know what's coming. He backed toward the door. Your family will never believe you. They love me. We'll see about that on Saturday. After he left, Nicole rushed back in. Are you okay? Better than okay. I looked around the room one last time. I'm free. I pulled out my phone and typed a quick email to Justin. Everything's still on track for Saturday? His response came quickly. Haley and Mark will be there at noon sharp. You sure you want to do it this way? I thought of Zane's threat, my mother's dismissal, Layla's smugness. Yes, I typed back. It's time they all learned what it feels like to be homeless. Friday night arrived with the usual chaos of my family descending on the beach house. I watched from my car as Zane pulled up in his expensive SUV, Sarah giggling in the passenger seat. She looked young, vulnerable, just like I had been. Stella, my mother waved from the porch. Come help with the groceries. Zane's grilling his famous burgers again. Famous burgers. Right. The same ones he'd forced me to eat off the floor that time I'd overcooked them. I grabbed a bag from my mother's car, purposely taking the lighter one. The other bag, Stella, she sighed. You know Zane and your father shouldn't strain their backs. Inside, Layla was arranging flowers, always trying to create the perfect Instagram moment. Mom says you've been weird about the house lately. Keep disappearing up here alone. Just nostalgia, I said. Well, stop it. You're making Sarah uncomfortable. Layla adjusted a rose. She knows about your issues with Zane. She's being really mature about it. My phone buzzed. Haley, got the keys. See you at noon sharp. I'd spoken to Haley twice now. She was direct, no nonsense, and had zero patience for family drama. Perfect. Dinner's ready, Zane called from outside. Sarah, babe, grab the plates. Sarah rushed to help, eager to please. I caught her wrist as she passed. Be careful, I whispered. She pulled away, nervous. Zane told me you try to cause problems. He said you're not well. I let her go, watching her hurry to his side. He kissed her temple, shot me a smirk over her head. Stella, my father called. Stop hovering in the doorway. You're making everyone uncomfortable. I sat at the far end of the porch table, pushing my food around while everyone praised Zane's cooking skills. Oh, Layla clapped her hands. Did everyone hear? The mayor's office nominated Zane for their community outreach program. They're doing this big write-up about his charitable work. That's wonderful, my mother beamed. Stella, isn't that wonderful? I looked directly at Zane. Fascinating timing. His eyes narrowed. Sarah touched his arm. Baby, you okay? Fine, he said. Just remembering something I need to take care of. After dinner, I slipped upstairs while they opened wine on the porch. I had a few final things to move out before tomorrow. Need help? Nicole's voice made me jump. She stood in the doorway, holding up a key. You gave me a copy, remember? My guardian angel, I smiled. We worked quickly, removing the last traces of my life here. Photos, books, the small jewelry box Grandpa had given me. You know what's crazy? Nicole whispered as we carried boxes to my car. They're all sitting there planning next month's beach trip, and they have no idea. From the porch came the sound of Layla's voice. We should do a big family Christmas here. Sarah, you'll love it. We all wear matching pajamas. Should we, though? Zane laughed. Remember last Christmas, when Stella had her accident on the stairs? My mother's voice. Let's not discuss unpleasant things. The accident had been Zane pushing me down the stairs after finding texts from a divorce lawyer on my phone. I'd spent Christmas in the ER while my family celebrated without me. I can't wait to see their faces tomorrow, Nicole muttered. Back upstairs, I did one final sweep of my room. Under the bed, I found an old photo, me and Layla as kids before everything went wrong. Before she became the golden child and I became the problem. My phone lit up, a text from Justin. Buyers confirmed for noon. You sure about this? Another text followed, this one from Haley. Move-in truck booked. This should be interesting. From downstairs, I heard my mother. Has anyone seen Stella? She's being rude to our guests again. Probably sulking, Layla replied. She's just jealous of Sarah. Don't worry about her. Zane's voice smooth as poison. She'll learn her place eventually. I walked to the window, watching them all laugh and drink. Sarah sat close to Zane, unaware she was next in line for his special brand of love. My parents clinked glasses, celebrating the son they'd chosen over their daughter. Layla took selfies, perfecting her angles. My place, I whispered, touching the window glass. My place is wherever I choose it to be, and after tomorrow it won't be anywhere near you. I sent one final text to Nicole. It's done. Everything's out. Her reply came instantly. Get some sleep. Tomorrow's going to be one hell of a show. I took one last look at my childhood room, then closed the door quietly. Good night, I whispered to the house. Thanks for the memories, especially the ones I'm about to make. Saturday morning dawned bright and clear. I arrived at the beach house early before anyone else was awake. The sunrise painted the waves gold as I took one final photo of the property. By 10, the house was stirring. Layla and Sarah stumbled down to the kitchen, hung over from last night's wine. My parents emerged next, my mother already fussing about lunch plans. Zane's still sleeping, Sarah announced as if we'd all been wondering. He had such a rough week at work. I checked my phone. 10:47 a.m., just over an hour to go. Coffee's ready, I called out, playing the perfect hostess one last time. My mother looked suspicious. You're being unusually helpful. Just feeling nostalgic, I said, pouring cups for everyone. At 11:30, Zane finally appeared, shirtless and smirking. "Morning, ladies. Beautiful day, isn't it?" My phone buzzed. "Haley, moving trucks loaded, heading your way." "Stella?" My father frowned at me. "You look different." "New makeup," I lied, checking the time again. 11:45. Zane stretched out on the porch swing, pulling Sarah onto his lap. "We should do this every weekend. Family tradition, right, babe?" The sound of a truck engine cut through the morning air. Right on time. "What's that noise?" Layla peered down the driveway. A large moving truck appeared, followed by a sleek black SUV. They pulled up right in front of the house. "Did someone order something?" My mother stood up, frowning. The SUV's door opened and Haley stepped out, exactly as I'd imagined her from our calls, tall, confident, taking no prisoners. "Hi there," she called out cheerfully. "We're here to move in, but—" She looked around the porch. "Who are all these squatters?" The silence was delicious. "Excuse me?" My mother drew herself up. "This is our family home. Who are you?" "Haley Newman, new owner." She pulled out a stack of papers. "Just closed on the property yesterday. We have immediate possession rights." "This is ridiculous," my father spluttered. "There must be some mistake." "No mistake," I said quietly, taking a slow sip of coffee. Every head turned toward me. "Stella?" Layla's voice shook. "What did you do?" "What Grandpa trusted me to do." I stood up. "I sold my house." "Your house?" My mother laughed, but it was brittle. "Don't be absurd. This house belongs to—" "Me." I pulled out the deed. "Has for years. Grandpa left it to me, remember? You all just chose to forget that part." "You can't—" Zane started forward, but I held up my phone. "Try it," I said. "I'm recording. Again." Sarah looked between us, confusion dawning on her face. "You spiteful little bitch!" Layla spat. "You did this to hurt us." "No," I corrected her. "I did this because for 5 years I was abused in this house while all of you watched. I did this because when I finally got free, you threw him a party right here in my house." "Stella," my father's voice was warning, "think about what you're doing to this family." "Family?" I laughed. "You mean the people who saw my bruises and called me dramatic? Who watched him push me downstairs and called it an accident? Who invited my abuser back into my home and expected me to smile about it?" "I never—" Zane started, but Haley cut him off. "Save it, buddy. I've read the police reports." She turned to her movers. "Start unloading, please, and call the police if anyone interferes." "You can't just throw us out," my mother cried. "Actually," Nicole's voice came from behind them as she walked up the driveway, "she can. I'm her lawyer, and I assure you, this sale is completely legal. You have 30 minutes to collect your belongings and vacate the property." Zane grabbed my arm, fingers digging in. "You think this is over?" I held up my phone higher. "Still recording, and this time everyone can see exactly who you are." Sarah backed away from him, eyes wide. 30 minutes, Haley called out, clocks ticking. What followed was chaos. My mother crying, my father making threats, Layla screaming about betrayal. Sarah slipped away quietly, calling an Uber. Smart girl. I watched them scramble to pack, watched Zane's mask finally crack as he realized he'd lost his perfect victim and his perfect audience all at once. "Keys." Haley held out her hand to each of them. "Now." One by one, they dropped their keys into her palm. When they reached me, I placed mine down gently. "Thank you," I said to her, "for making this quick." She winked. "My pleasure. Nothing better than helping karma do its job." I walked down the porch steps for the last time, past my sobbing family, past Zane's impotent rage. Nicole fell into step beside me. "Ready?" she asked. I looked back at the house, my house, now sold on my terms, and smiled. More than ready. Let's go home. You'll be hearing from my lawyer. Zane's voice carried across the driveway as Nicole and I walked to my car. Nicole turned around slowly. I'm her lawyer, remember? And I'd love to take this to court. Should we discuss those police reports? The hospital visits? The recordings? What recordings? Sarah asked quietly. She hadn't left yet, standing awkwardly by her Uber. Don't, Zane warned me, but I was done being silent. I played the audio from my phone, Zane's voice crystal clear from 2 years ago. If you tell anyone about the stairs, I'll make sure they never find your body. Sarah's face went pale. She got into her Uber without another word. You're making a huge mistake, my father said, trying to sound authoritative despite the boxes of hastily packed belongings at his feet. This house has been in our family for generations. And now it's not, I replied simply. Layla stormed over, mascara running. You backstabbing witch! You destroyed everything! No, I said, keeping my voice steady. You all did that. Every time you chose him over me. Every time you saw the bruises and looked away. Every time you called me dramatic or difficult or attention-seeking. We were trying to help you, my mother cried. Help me, I laughed. By throwing him a welcome back party, by inviting him to family dinners, by telling his new girlfriend I was crazy. You are crazy, Zane spat. Look what you're doing to your own family. My family? I stepped closer to him, no longer afraid. Let's talk about family. Let's talk about how my mother saw you hit me at Christmas and said I must have provoked you. How my father helped to cover up the hole you put in the wall with my head. How my sister took your side every single time. Stella, my father warned, that's enough. No, it's not enough. It's never been enough. I turned to face them all. You want to know why Grandpa left this house to me? Because he saw you all for exactly what you are. He knew you'd choose image over truth, appearances over actual family. 20 minutes left, Haley called from the porch, tick-tock. My mother tried a different approach, her voice honey-sweet. Darling, we can talk about this, work something out. You're obviously hurting. Save it, Nicole cut in. The sale is final. The money's in escrow. It's done. Money? Layla's eyes lit up. How much did you get? More than enough to start over, I said, away from all of you. Zane moved toward me one last time, that familiar menace in his stride. You think you're so clever? This isn't over. I'll make sure everyone knows what you really are. I held up my phone again, still recording. Please do. Show them exactly who you are. Show them how you act when you don't get your way. I'm sure Sarah would love to see it. Maybe the mayor's office, too? He froze. That's what I thought. I turned to my family. I didn't sell this house out of spite. I sold it because I refused to let my abuser and his enablers profit from the one thing a good man trusted me with. 15 minutes, Haley announced, and I've already called the police to be on standby. My mother burst into tears. Where are we supposed to go? Not my problem, I said, just like my bruises weren't your problem. They scrambled to finish packing, the reality finally setting in. Layla kept shooting me venomous looks while trying to fit her entire wardrobe into trash bags. My father made angry phone calls about lawyers. My mother alternated between crying and threatening. Zane stood by his car, mask completely gone, showing the monster I'd always known was there. You'll regret this, he said as I walked past him. No, I smiled. I really won't. My phone buzzed with a text from Sarah. I'm sorry, I didn't know. Thank you for the warning. I showed it to Nicole, who nodded approvingly. One saved, not bad. Time's up, Haley called out. Everyone who doesn't own this house needs to leave. Now! I watched them go. My family in their separate cars, Zane in his expensive SUV, all their perfect facades crumbling. As the last car pulled away, my mother rolled down her window. "You've chosen this over family," she said. "I hope you're happy." "I chose myself," I corrected her. "Finally." Haley walked over as they disappeared down the driveway. "That was better than reality TV?" "Thank you," I said, "for making this easy." "Honey, Karma is my favorite show. Happy to help." She grinned. "Want to come see what I'm going to do with the place?" I shook my head. "It's yours now. Make better memories than I did." As Nicole and I drove away, my phone lit up with one last text from Zane. "You think this is over?" I deleted it without responding. He was right. It wasn't over. It was just beginning. But this time I was writing the ending. The morning sun streamed through my new apartment windows as I unpacked the last box. Nicole sat cross-legged on my couch, scrolling through her phone. "Oh my God," she snorted. "Layla's latest Instagram rant is epic. Some people think money and legal documents are more important than family loyalty." "Says a sister who watched me bleed and called it attention-seeking," I replied, hanging a photo from my Colorado trip on the wall. My phone buzzed, a text from Sarah. "He did it to me too, just once, but that was enough. I'm at my mom's. Thank you for saving me from what you went through." "Another one free," Nicole smiled. "You're building quite the support group." A knock at the door made us both freeze. Nicole reached for her phone, ready to call 911, but I peered through the peephole and relaxed. "It's just the mail carrier," I said, opening the door to sign for a certified letter. The return address made my heart skip. Estate of Gerald Wallace. "What is it?" Nicole asked as I tore open the envelope. "Letter from Grandpa's lawyer." I pulled out several documents. There's another trust, one I didn't know about." Nicole moved closer as I read aloud. "To be activated upon my granddaughter taking legal action to reclaim control of her life and property." "Your grandfather was a mastermind," Nicole whispered. "The trust contained stocks, bonds, and a small property in Colorado. But it was the handwritten letter that made me cry. Dear Stella, if you're reading this, you've finally done what I always knew you could. Stood up for yourself. They'll call you cruel, selfish. They'll say you destroyed the family, but we both know the family was destroyed long before you sold that house. I'm sorry I couldn't protect you better. Sorry I had to leave you to face them alone. But I never doubted your strength. It's not the loud kind, like Layla's. It's the quiet kind that outlasts storms. The money isn't important. What matters is that you proved them wrong. You proved that sometimes the quietest voice speaks the loudest truth. Love, Grandpa." A new text lit up my phone. "Haley, thought you'd want to know. Your ex just drove by. Security cameras caught him. Police have been notified." "He's spiraling," Nicole said. "The mayor's office dropped him from consideration after those police reports mysteriously appeared on their desk." I smiled. How mysterious? Another text, this one from my mother. "Your father's blood pressure is through the roof because of what you did. I hope you're satisfied." "Block her," Nicole suggested. "No," I said. "Let her see me read it and not respond. That's worse." My phone rang. Layla. I declined the call and watched as she immediately texted. "You think you're so smart? Wait until everyone hears our side of the story." I pulled up my recording app and sent her a clip. Zane threatening me, her laughing in the background, my mother telling me to stop provoking him. "Share whatever story you want," I texted back. "I'll share the receipts." She didn't respond. Nicole helped me hang the last of my photos, none of my family, all of new memories. Colorado mountains, beach sunsets, friends who actually loved me. "You know what's funny," I said, stepping back to admire our work. "They thought selling the house was my revenge. They have no idea it was just the beginning. What do you mean? I showed her my laptop screen, a draft of my story ready to post, every detail, every enabler, every moment of abuse and denial. The truth, I said. That's the real revenge. No more family secrets, no more perfect facades. They'll be furious, Nicole warned. Let them. I'm done being quiet. My doorbell rang again. This time it was Haley holding a bottle of champagne. Thought you might want to celebrate, she said, walking in. Just had the locks changed at the beach house. Your ex tried to use his old key last night. How'd that work out for him? Silent alarm. Police escort off the property. Very entertaining security footage. We popped the champagne and I raised my glass. To karma. To justice, Nicole added. To peace, I finished. My phone lit up one last time. Unknown number, but I knew it was Zane. You'll never be free of me. I looked around my new home at the friends who'd helped me build it, at the strength my grandfather had seen in me all along. Watch me, I whispered and blocked the number. The morning sun caught the edge of Grandpa's letter, still open on my coffee table. I picked it up, rereading his words about quiet strength outlasting storms. He was right. Revenge isn't always loud. Sometimes it's as quiet as a signature on a deed, as silent as a blocked number, as peaceful as finally being free. I looked at my friends, my new home, my story ready to be shared, and smiled. Now, I said, I can finally begin.